this. It is the top of the hour, and we are live. Welcome, everyone, to the JL Success Mastermind for Friday, April 9th, 2021. John Lavenia here with you, wrapping up another thrilling week. We had our new Thursday co-facilitator out yesterday, none other than my secret weapon, Shannon Lavenia. I got a lot of feedback on that, by the way. Thank you. And she will continue to deliver not only our brand builder sessions, which happen every other week, but now you'll get her every other Thursday as well. We also had just this morning, let me give a shout out to Ego Obi, who does our practical entrepreneurial tips, formerly known as Tech Talk, right? Tech Talk. So that is now, you're going to see that archive growing in a separate section in the recorded module in your member site, all the practical entrepreneurial tips. And the reason, if anyone's wondering, especially if our new members are wondering, why did we change that out? Ego noticed that a lot of people who have been hanging around here and on, Tech Talk have kind of graduated, right? So we're a little bit beyond just basic technology. Let's mix in some other practical entrepreneurial tips. Hence the title, Practical Entrepreneurial Tips, PET for short. So bring your pets. In fact, does anybody got any pets on you right now? I'd love to. I know we've got a little bit of a Friday morning light crowd here today. Oh, Ego just joined us. Hey, Ego, good to see you. A joke, fun Friday. Oh, Emma, who's that? Who is that? Emma, let's get you unmuted. I can't unmute you. Can I force unmute you? I don't think I can.
Oh, this is Widow. Oh, she's scratching herself. Come here. Come here. She's a bit big. This is Willow.
Look at her. What's her name?
Willow.
Willow.
Yeah, 15 months old she is now. Aren't
Wow.
You? Hello.
Yeah. You're not a lap doggy, no. No.
She's definitely not a lap dog. She weighs a ton.
And Sharon's got a dog as well. Thank you,
Get her
Emma.
in my lap.
Who's that?
Willow, meet Lila.
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 Hey.
She's precious.
She sure is. She's got that meek look about her, but she probably has a little mischief as well, I would imagine.
She's a sweetheart.
Yeah. You look sweet. All right, Lila, good to see you. Anybody else before we get rolling? Any jokes today? I have some jokes. They're just not appropriate. Hey, Sonia.
Bear with me. I haven't told this one in a while. I've got two, if we can bear it.
Okay.
Because my daughter says I have the worst jokes in the world. Two guys are sitting at a pub, and one guy says to his friend, "Wow, you got like a really good hair replacement. Like, that looks great." And he's like, "Thanks. Like, I went cheap and I went with cat hair, but I really can't tell the difference, right?" He's like, "No, that's cat hair? That is so strange. I wouldn't have thought of cat hair." He's like, "Yeah, feels just like the real thing, except every time my wife puts her hands through my hair, I want to raise my butt." Cat people will get that.
Yeah. Very good. All right, what's the second one?
Second one, you have to actually watch my face.
Okay.
So there's this little frog. He's jumping through the forest, and he's new to the world, and he's exploring his area, and he just wants to meet everybody. And he goes up to a gorilla, and he says, "I'm a wide-mouthed frog. What are you?" The gorilla looks at him like he's insane, but he's like, "I'm a gorilla." "Well, nice to meet you." And he hops on. And soon he comes across a deer. And he says, "I'm a wide-mouthed frog. What are you?" And the deer says, "Okay, nice to meet you, neighbor. I'm a deer." And the deer hops away. Frog continues on his journey, and pretty soon comes up to a crocodile. And he says to the crocodile, "I'm a wide-mouthed frog. What are you?" The crocodile smiles and says, "I'm a crocodile, and I eat wide-mouthed frogs." And the frog goes, "That's really interesting."
Very good, Sonia. Thank you. The facial expressions did it too. That was great. We were laughing the whole time. Thank you, my friend. Anybody else with a joke? A dog? Anything? I got one. Okay. So there's, and this will be appropriate for our topic today. I think. So there's the difference between a casual drinker, a problem drinker, and an alcoholic. So the casual drinker sitting in a bar and a fly lands in his drink. And he calls the bartender, says, "Hey, there's a fly in my drink. Give me a new one." Okay. The problem drinker, same story. The fly lands in his drink, picks the fly out, throws it over his shoulder, takes his drink. Right. The alcoholic sitting there, fly lands in his drink, grabs the fly, shakes it upside down, and says, "Spit it out, spit it out." There you go. Yay. Which brings us into our topic for today. I had a situation yesterday which gave me gratitude. And after all the things we've been studying, whether it's Wallace Wattles' Science of Getting Rich, which we're making use of, right? Everyone's making use of that teaching. We're acting in a certain way. We're thinking in a certain way. We're using the power of will, the mental faculty of will, to choose the right thoughts consistently enough that we get emotionally involved with the image that, yes, we do receive, right? So we're doing all that. Okay, great. And now we're on to the power of consistency, where just in the first couple of chapters, if you've been reading it, you know that he's talking about we really got to look at what's in our box and be deliberate about what we put in that mental box, that box of parts that we're going to then use as tools to build whatever this thing is that we're building, the successful business, the motorcycle, and the example that he gave, right? So I had this conversation yesterday with a client, a potential client, doctor, emergency room physician, or was. And so here he is, MD, making significant living doing that. Not easy work, of course. I wouldn't want that job. And this guy was miserable. Right now he's in sales. Or in retail anyway. He's selling furniture. As a favor from a friend who referred him to the furniture guy because the guy needed work. Go back a couple years. He was married to his wife for 16 years. Came home one day, she was buckled over. He tried to revive her. She didn't make it. Okay. Had some emotional effect from that, of course. Turned to drink. So not to make light of alcoholism with the joke that I just told you, but turned to drink and wound up meeting a girl, married her a year later. She was a drug addict. And she went through all the money that he had saved, like gone, done. This guy's down and out. Of course, he resigned from the hospital work. I didn't get too many details about how extensive his own drinking was. Right, we didn't get into a therapy session per se, although it kind of sounded like that at one point. And I feel for this guy. So here he is in his 60s, starting over, hating what he does, says he hates sales, just needs to make some money, needs to get back to, a 6-figure income. And really what I heard is he needed to get back some dignity, right? Some self-respect. When you see a broken man, right? That was like all written all over his face. And he was talking about how much he's blundered and lamenting the mistakes that he's made. Of course, hindsight's 2020. We can look back and say, man, I was such a fool. I've made such horrible mistakes. So between the drinking, the stepping down from his medical work, the ill-fated marriage, which however long that lasted, the depletion of his resources, and now finding himself in a profession for which he doesn't think he's cut out and doesn't see, this is my interpretation anyway, he doesn't see the purpose of it, right? Because that's not his calling. The guy's an MD, right? He was now looking for other ways to create some financial stability at least, and solvency, and then hopefully do something before he's in the grave, something of note. No kids. Anyway, I felt for this guy. I was having this conversation with this guy, and I had never met him before. And it was a group conversation, by the way. It wasn't just me and this guy. But I tend to have that effect, when people get into a group meeting with me and I ask people to share, usually they're they get that, well, and this is my assessment of it anyway. I have no interest in evaluating, their situation or judging them. And so I think people, I know people definitely respond to that opportunity to be heard. Right. So this guy wanted to be heard. And so then it was my turn to offer some, some wisdom, right? Something for this guy. And I let him know, first of all, that, I didn't just show up on planet Earth and suddenly I'm a successful author and, business coach and all this kind of stuff, right? That didn't happen by accident. In fact, if you want to talk about, dealing with drugs and alcohol and riotous living and call it whatever you want, I could tell you a whole lot of stories about that. And so I told him he was fortunate, and he thought that was interesting. Fortunate. I was like, yeah, you want me to show you how you're fortunate? Here's why you're fortunate. Because people drift through life okay, right? We're okay, everything's fine. And they drift through life and they don't have that urgency, that high necessity level that would cause one to get creative, to say, you know what, enough is enough, right? I am now reaching higher. I am now forsaking some of, these methods, which obviously haven't been serving me, right? They go through life just kind of okay, just like cow on the pasture, chewing their cud, not even knowing that they're just waiting for the slaughter. And that's it. That's life. It's okay. And we get to watch Netflix and do whatever. I said, in your case, sir, you've got a very high necessity level. How fortunate for you. Wow. That's clarity through contrast right there. It's black and white. It's not, this gray is a little bit different than that gray. It is black and white. So the likelihood of you succeeding now is really high, assuming you start to apply, some education, some better thinking. What he basically wanted was more control in his life, and certainly in the area of finances. But it's the same guy showing up in that marriage at the bar, in his financial life. It's the same guy, right? So which guy is showing up? And great news, once again, sir, the past does not equal the future. Just like you've demonstrated to yourself, successful MD, down and out, selling furniture at a buddy's store, right? Hating, the whole situation. Okay, so that's different, right? The past, and then there's that. Okay, well, what's the next chapter? You get to write that. You get to cause that. But it doesn't happen without accepting more responsibility. It doesn't happen, like you don't get control without responsibility. So how do you accept more responsibility? Well, you got to learn stuff, right? So what you already know has gotten you this far, but not further. And I respect, look, I don't want your job. Interestingly, though, and I asked him, do you know what the highest paying profession, statistically, the highest paying profession in the world is? He's like, no. I said, sales and marketing. And he laughed. He's right there. It's like right in his face. Right now, I don't know about selling furniture in a retail store. That may not be, I suppose if he really got into marketing himself, having a bit of self-belief and putting that out there into the community, like here's Bob the furniture guy, right? I mean, that could be gangbusters. I know there are whole stores, and I don't really understand their business model, but there are whole stores that are just like mattresses. Like that's that one kind of furniture that you can get there. And they may have some headboards and I don't know, box springs or whatever, but it's like the mattress universe or something. So they've created authority in that niche in the marketplace. But the whole idea, and so I told him, what sales actually is, because I've sold well over $100 million in sales. I've helped other people do even more. So what is sales? So we got into a little bit of that. His idea that he's convincing people, that he's got to convince people to come buy the sofa or something. I was like, no, hold on a second. I know many of us here have discussed this, and there's a special event in our recorded section on sales. There's a couple of them actually, where I did like a sales workshop. And for those of you in the CEO Freedom Accelerator, we're going to be doing some live coaching on that too, because this is such a vital point. So vital. If you read any of like Robert Kiyosaki's work, his Rich Dad, Poor Dad kind of stuff. Well, his rich dad told him, if you want to be successful in business, go learn how to sell. Go get a job at Xerox or something, right? So any business must have sales. So what is sales? So sales, my favorite definition, as I've talked about before, is the transfer of enthusiasm. That's it. So here's the public who is ignorant. They do not know of the benefits that could be theirs if they participated in whatever your offer is, in this case, furniture, which again is temporary because the past does not equal the future, right? So right now it's the furniture store. I don't know. Okay. But They don't know. Now you know, or you damn well better know. And because you've got a higher level of knowingness, you can then enlighten. So yes, sales is a process of enlightenment, not of manipulation. You can now enlighten the ignorant and bring them up to a higher level of knowingness and thereby a higher level of enthusiasm. But you've got to know. If you don't know, then they can't know. They got no shot, right? So if we look at the word enthusiasm, the last 4 letters, IASM, could be an acronym for I am sold myself. So what's awesome about this furniture? Even if you don't personally own the furniture, why is it awesome and why should they care? Step right up, Mr. Customer. You've got a problem right now. Your problem is you're sitting on the floor. And I've got a solution. Have a seat on that couch. Feel that cushion, right? Smell that leather. My goodness. Yes, right? So, and he started to smile a bit. And he got it that, to whatever degree he got it, that clearly the guy who's showing up and the lens through which he's seeing his circumstances and his opportunities can be completely different. If all we do is look in the rearview mirror, think about that. You're driving your car and it's going forward, okay? And you just keep looking in the rearview mirrors like constantly, right? Occasionally you might glance just before you crash into something, right? Is that how people live their life? Unfortunately, in some cases, yes. That sounds like an extreme example, and it is, okay? Because I think even with any common sense or any practice whatsoever with successfully driving a car, you're going to put more of your attention on where you're going than where you've been. Jean Apogee knows about this because he knows about racing, right? And so race car drivers, there's this thing called skid plates. John could probably speak better about it than I could. And the driver is going training, is a training drill, right? And then they have the skid plate or area or however it is where the car starts to go sideways, and it trains the driver to don't look at the wall, look at the road, not the wall. You go where you look. Okay, so car skidding, where do you want the car to go? Stop looking at the wall. And that's about is all I know about that, John, but maybe you know more about it. But the idea here, same thing, I could tell you this, I do know about riding a motorcycle, right? You look through the turn. You're not just fixating your attention on this piece of ground right in front of you, 10 feet in front of you. That's valid too. You see that, but you also see around the corner. You see 12 seconds in front of you, where you're going to be, right? You plan ahead and you expect, I expect to be in that position on the road. So really when we get into, and I know this is Fun Friday and it's kind of a heavy topic, but we get into just the basics of it, the basics of sanity, really, the sane thinking and making progress in our life. We've got to, and this is what sane people do, we've got to spend more of our attention, and we only get so much per day. We've got to spend more of that considering and postulating, here's where I'm going to be. Okay, we don't necessarily have proof of that yet. A postulate is a causative idea that doesn't require proof, right? So I am postulating this is my guaranteed future outcome. That's why I use those words a lot. That's a reminder for me, by the way, because I forget a lot of times that it really is name it and claim it. If I just use the power of will to focus my thoughts more often on where I'm going rather than where I've been. It's so easy to fixate our attention on our blunders. And I did the drinking and I married the girl and she blew all the money and I'm such a I'm such a screw up. Okay. If that's who's showing up, you don't get my vote. We got to be able to bet on us. And I told him, look, if you want to accept more responsibility, you got to learn some stuff. Personally, I've invested over $300,000 into my own education after leaving government schools and whatever they teach there. I'm a deliberate product of the decisions that I've made, as deliberately as I've been able to make them over the last several decades, because you wouldn't recognize me just those few short years ago. Yeah, 30, 35 years, just a few short years ago. I mean, compared to like the age of the universe or something, this is a blip. All of us, we're just doing this little thing, this tiny little blip. That's it. And we get so friggin' serious about our blunders. So how about we lighten up just a little bit and let's just decide what we want. You know, I ask most people, what do you want? And it's so vague. The answers are so vague, or it's just deer in headlights. What do you want? And I know we've all been considering that lately because we've been told to by the authors we've been reading. What do you want? Put it in your box, as Weldon Long is reminding us now, which, by the way, we're doing chapters 2, 3, and 4 this coming Monday. So be on the book club. And shout out to Mandy Anderson, who did Books for Britain on Wednesday. Mandy is awesome. We've got so many awesome people here in this community. Okay, so before I turn this into a tongue bath about all the love that I have for all of you, I want to open it up. And I don't know where we're going with this topic. I think if nothing else, maybe you can get some gratitude, right? So Sonia's not sitting there, crying in her drink. Nice, right? I mean, compared to this guy, this broken man, who I'm intending that will get unbroken. Okay, and remember how powerful he is. We're doing okay. That doesn't mean you've arrived, right? Don't rest on your laurels. You don't get any friggin' trophy. Okay. But my goodness, we're doing okay. Can we do better than okay? Okay. So now that we've got, just like Weldon Long was talking about in his book, right? We've got such an advantage. Here's this guy. He was starting from a 13-year prison run, criminal, convict, prisoner. Again, advantage. How is that an advantage? Oh, high necessity level, contrast, nothing vague about this. I'm a ne'er-do-well, and now I shall be a millionaire. Big contrast, right? Nothing vague about that. Abandon these old beliefs that got me in prison. Okay, so have we been equivocating with ourselves a little bit? Is good the enemy of great? Well, if nothing else, we can be grateful that we're not starting from, here we are in prison. But can we invent or manufacture or induce that same urgency for us that this Weldon Long guy did, or that this gentleman who I'm calling Bob, Dr. Bob, that he's experiencing right now? And who hasn't walked through fire, right? We've done this. I know, Cyril, you've shared some stories, right? Who goes through life unscathed? Anyone? But what we do with it, is this an opportunity to create? It is. It is. We just got to be able to recognize opportunity. I remember reading, those of you who've been in the book club now, you know how I do this. You know how I come up with all these different quotes, right? Because we've been reading some books over the last 6 months or so. George Clayson, Richest Man in Babylon, the Goddess of Good Luck. You guys remember that chapter? How do you induce the Goddess of Good Luck to smile upon you? You take opportunities, right? You accept opportunities. You get to work, right? You may not know where they're coming from, but that's where the good luck, the goddess smiles upon you as you see these opportunities. Do you act? So all this stuff comes together, right? Are we seizing opportunities? So I'm thinking, let me shut up. I know Shannon did an amazing thing yesterday. Went a little bit long, which is cool, but this is Fun Friday. We're going to go ahead and open up the conversation. If you guys have some ideas on this, please come out and let me know what you're grateful for, or let me know, where you're going with all this. I'd be happy to. Sonia's got her hand up. Let's start with Sonia. Sonia, by the way, you're awesome. Come on out. Awesome, Sonia.
I'll take that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Watch, it'll take me forever to figure out how to lower my hand, but yay. This topic, John, I swear to God, it's like you kind of read into us all the time, because I woke up this morning thinking about this kind of thing. Everyone knows this move hasn't been fabulous, but the thing I can be really grateful for about the past year is that it has given me assurance in my path. I have spent so much, and I know I'm not alone, I have spent so much time and mental energy reviewing past decisions. Was this move right for me? Am I going in the right path with my career? Was Amazon okay? Blah, 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 blah. I don't feel that anymore. And I know you all are a big part of that. And being part of this group is a big part of that. But in this move, I have realized how much energy I was wasting and how much lighter I feel without carrying the burdens of those past questions onto every new decision. I joined Amazon, and like many of you, that's where we all met. what a year ago. I have never doubted in one moment that this was the right move for me. That is unusual for me. To still be a year in, and even with all the ups and downs and roller coasters, 100% committed to that. I sold my rental property recently. Now that took years of work. Never doubted that decision. I knew it was going to be ups and downs. I knew there was lots to learn, and it was never perfect, but it was done. And now I'm reaping the benefits of that. And the same goes through for every decision I've made. So why are we questioning? Why do we constantly carry that baggage with us to future decisions? It's not serving us. I know now all my energy in the past 8 months has been focused on forward motion and defining what it is I want. Because yeah, if you asked me a year ago, I'd be like, oh, I think I want this, because I wasn't convinced I could have it. So why allow myself to want it? But now I know it's there, and I am the person that I am today, can reach that point and more. So there is no more questions. There is no more doubt about what decision, because like you said, everything's temporary. And even if Amazon doesn't work out for me, something else will down the road, because I am determined to get to where I'm going. I've been working on home workouts. I hit a weight goal this morning that I've been trying to get to for 3 weeks. I'm ridiculously thrilled with that, because I've never before been successful with working out at home with the same consistency and effort as I would in the gym. So it's just more and more evidence that the forward motion is continuing, regardless of what happens in the world, regardless of what happens in commerce, regardless of what happens in COVID. There's still opportunities. There's still forward movement for those who choose to take it. And I'm definitely choosing to take it. So very, very good topic. John, thank you very much for bringing this up. And I hope something that I have rambled on about resonates with some others. I see Glenn has his hand up, so I'm going to shut up now and pass the floor over to Glenn. But yeah, that was a great topic and really resonated with me today.
Beautiful. Thank you, Sonia. You know what? I can picture you lecturing, let's say, doing a talk, right? About, here's where I was and here's where I am now. Here's this powerful Sonia, right? Who's now offering, the insights to those who are hoping to succeed as much as you have. You're on that upward spiral. Keep on trucking, girl. Wow, wow, wow.
Thank you.
Good times. Yeah. What say you, Glenn?
Reverend Lavenia, it's the topic of the week. Again,
I'm out of uniform though. I'm wearing brown today. Believe it.
Well,
Yeah, right.
nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna need to go quickly because we got stuff going on in the house, and then I've got another call and everything. But a couple things came to my mind what do you want? What do you want? Remember, we talked about this a while ago, like 4 steps, right? First step, what do you want? Second step, what do you want to get it, et cetera, et cetera. Well, y'all know what I want. 1 million copies sold. That's what I want. 1 million copies of the book sold. It's done, right? So enough of that. If I may make a suggestion, if I may offer a tip for us to consider, particularly in the area of financial goals, whatever your money goal is, and somebody said this to me, maybe it was you, John, whatever your money goal is, and I don't care what your money goal is, here's the suggestion: add a 0. Why? Because there is no shortage of abundance in the world. There is no shortage of money in the world. Too many of us are thinking of this money deal as a zero-sum game. Like if I win, somebody else loses. And if this guy's getting rich, those dirty rich people, they're taking money out of the mouths of... Enough of that foolishness. There is no shortage, and you can testify to this, John. Every one of us can earn, every one of us can have just as much money as we are perfectly willing to earn. So, and I know somebody's getting terrified right now, like seriously. When I say just 10, here's what I mean. Whatever your money goal is, multiply it by 10. Now you're probably in the ballpark of what you're really, truly capable of. And I say this like one finger pointing, three fingers pointing back at me, like starting with this guy. Add a 0. And do that with all of our goals. We're capable of so many times more than we think. We're just scared to say so. So quit being scared. Say so. Add a 0. Thanks. Back to you, John.
Thank you, Glenn. You know, when I start thinking bigger, you know what happens to me? I stop entertaining distractions. Yeah. So now that I'm the guy who does 10 times the amount that I was originally thinking I should do, oh, well, how do I behave now? Right? What am I expecting? You know, people say, look, success isn't easy. Well, guess what? Neither is failure. It is a lot of work to be broke. It is a
You
lot
got
of
that
work.
straight, Slim.
Yeah.
I'll see y'all soon.
All right, Nancy. All right. Live long and prosper. Anybody else today? Come on down. We're talking about whatever we're talking about. Gratitude for one, contrast for another, and accepting opportunity, getting off our ass and doing it. Hi, Emma.
Hi. Yeah, it's interesting. It's funny how you don't realize how far you've come until you're talking to somebody you haven't spoken to for a little while. So today I was speaking to one of my old friends who was at university, and she was telling me all about this man that she's with and how negative he is on her life. So it was funny because all the things that we've kind of gone through, I kind of then kind of palm back off to her and say, why are you surrounding yourself with somebody who is so negative that is just doing nothing for your life? And then we started talking about work, and to be fair to her, she's been looking after her mother who's got dementia, and her mum is about to go into her home. So it's almost like she needs to rethink about herself and her life. And we were talking about business, and I was telling her where my journey had been last year to where I was now. And it was just so interesting because you kind of ticking the boxes of all the things that you've learned and done. And then I was just surprised at myself of all the things that I've kind of achieved so far, which obviously is the help of the group and the momentum and mindset and the books that we've read. But it all kind of, I don't know, just kind of cemented what we'd learned and things like that. But it's interesting because it's almost you're reading your own story as you're telling it to somebody else, which I thought was quite fascinating today. It was just funny. It was just a reflection on today.
Right. That's great. And, you know, Emma, in your case, and this isn't the space that I play in, but product sourcing, I know you've become very competent, and you have been for a while, but now you're putting that out there. You've got an agency or whatever you're running. And so thank you for that. Thank you for being a solution in the lives of other people who may not have that aptitude or that interest, right? And we've got other people that are specializing now in areas of business that can serve other entrepreneurs to reach that success even more quickly. I wonder, in your own assessment of yourself, would you have reached for that? Would you have produced, you know, that offer, that product, that here's Emma, here's the agency, now we're doing our thing, had you not read the books, done the personal development, et cetera? I suppose we could speculate, but do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think no, I probably wouldn't be as far ahead as I am now. And I think what has really helped is when you have those moments of doubt, almost just being on these calls and talking to other people and their journeys makes you realize that no, things will change next week, things will get better. And it was funny because I kind of feel like I've, with the sourcing, you think, oh, actually, I've kind of contacted all the people that you think you could contact. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, new people come along. And I think it's just because I've opened my mind to, no, there's definitely business out there. It's in abundance. It's going to come to me. And yeah, so I find that fascinating because I think my previous mindset would have been, no, you know, you get to a certain point, I've you know, gone through every different nook and cranny to try and find business, whereas I'm like, no, it will come to me. I just need to be out there, get myself out there, and more will come. And it has, and it's brilliant. So I'd say in my journey, particularly at different stages, I've picked up so many different things from the books that we've done. And it was interesting because Mandy, when we were on the book club this week, we were saying, almost if you could take those big snippets of the aha moments that you've had in those books, I'd say that's, if I'd read them about a year ago, we probably wouldn't have resonated. But because of what we're doing and our journey and where we're going, so much of it now makes so much sense. Even I did Power of Consistency last year when I was in France on a hammock. It was very nice. But re-listening to it now, I'm getting even more things out of it than I did from before, which is, I find it amazing. And it's such a great journey. I still think there's so much more to go. And I think what we're all sharing within the group is brilliant, because everybody's on a different journey, but we're all going along the kind of same path and kind of egging everybody on. And I think it's great.
Beautiful. Thank you, Emma. You know, the progress, the more progress we make, the more we realize we can make. One thing I forgot to mention with my tale of Dr. Bob yesterday is that he admitted, I really don't know anything about making money. And so that was the other point of congratulations that I offered him was, well, very good, Bob. You know that you don't know. I mean, sure way to learn nothing is to think you already know. You've been disabused of that illusion. So fantastic. Hey guys, I don't know. All right, now we can learn something. So same thing with me. I keep looking at all the things that I didn't recognize last time I went through that book, or I didn't apply because I was on the hammock, metaphorically speaking, right? And now I'm like, all right, hold on a second here. How does this actually work in my life, or not? Right? Doesn't mean I sit here and agree with everything. Okay, but does this hold water? Okay, well then let's put it to use. In fact, Buddha said that. Gautama Buddha. He said, I'm going to paraphrase, right? Don't just believe in tradition or, because some holy guy said it or whatever, but you take an idea and when it's, makes good reason and workable in life, then live by it. Now it's yours, live by it. So it's not just about going through life agreeing with authority figures or something. Emma, you're awesome. All right. Who else is awesome? Anybody else? I don't see any hands, so maybe nobody else is awesome here. Oh, wait. I see an awesome person. Hi, Nicola.
I've probably spoke about this before, but I thought since we're on the topic, I'll come back to it again. And it's really good timing, as always. I got a memory popped up yesterday on Facebook, and this time last year, I was sitting in the garden reading A Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl, and it just reminded me of kind of how far that I have come in a year. And because I remember reading that, I had not long left my job and thinking, I've spoken a lot about my past and like depression, anxiety, and all the other stuff that comes with like the health challenges. And I just thought to myself, wow, if I could find a way to get meaning from the pain that I've experienced for 20 years and kind of give something back to the world, wouldn't that just be amazing? And that would make all of the kind of suffering worthwhile. And then when the memory popped up yesterday, I thought, do you know what it is? I'm doing that now. And that's in the space of a year. And I'm just sitting here reflecting back on, because at the time I just probably had an idea of what I wanted to do, but I didn't have the belief that I could do it. So it was just that kind of inner critic and the lack of self-confidence holding me back. But this group has just given so much in so many different areas. And I've mentioned before the meditation sessions that I do has been a massive part of turning that story around, and just the encouragement that everybody gives each other, and all of the talks that we gave each other on, the self-doubt and criticism, and it's just all come together. And yesterday and today, I'm doing some hypnotherapy test clients, and I got just an amazing testimonial of one of them this morning of how much it's changed her life. And, and you just think, even if I didn't do any more in that field whatsoever, that is enough for me to know that what I've gone through over the past 20 years has made that difference to one other person's life. And it was similar with the group session I held last night as part of the course that I'm doing as well. And you just take a step back and think, that is so far in the space of a year that I'm actually now almost like living my dream. And this is only the start of it. So where it can go from here, I mean, the sky's the limit, because when you have that, and I'm sure everybody on here's got similar stories, but when you feel like you've finally found your purpose and your passion, like there's no stopping you. It's just an amazing feeling, and it just it just puts a lot of things into perspective when you know you can make something from the pain you've experienced. I'm sure you're probably similar, John, as well, from kind of your past, but it's a good feeling when you get there. It really is. So yeah, just nice timing as always. So just massive gratitude from everything that this group has given me, because I very much doubt I'd be doing what I'm doing now if it wasn't for this group.
Wow. Thank you, Nicola. And you're a loved member of this group. Unfortunately, we're not seeing you. Is everything okay with your tooth?
Well, that was why, because I had took it out, because it's not very comfortable, but I've put it back in to speak. So you could...
Very good, very good. Well, we're looking forward to you having the permanent.
The permanent.
Yes, that'll be nice. Interesting thing that you brought up that was a reminder for me, more from a marketing angle, interestingly, is that a lot of times people are looking at who their ideal customer could be. So I'm looking to market and actually have my message, connect with, the right audience. And one way to determine who your ideal target audience would be, in the case of like an expert coach or something like that, well, who were you before your transformation? So if we go back a couple of years, or like you mentioned in my case, I can go back to, in great contrast, by the way, I can go back to where I started this journey. And that may be extreme. That's an extreme example. But it gives me some indicators about what others who I'm attempting to serve are experiencing. So interesting thought for anyone here who's in the expert space, coaching. You intend to offer subjective value type, products and services, courses, etc. Who were you before your transformation? Great question. What do you think, Cyril? You've got the floor. How are you, brother?
Hi. Who was I? Oh, I've changed a lot, but and also not worked on other things that could have been worked on. But there's only so many things you can work on at once, and also there's only certain things you see as being necessarily you have to do at that point. So I haven't moved forward a great deal, but money wise, but I think I've moved forward a great deal in terms of direction and moving forward on that road or journey, which makes me feel good. And I'm just trying to daily move forward in writing and trying to get, but some of it is such a slow process because I've taken on a bit of a task and then doing all the scientific research to back up what I'm saying as well. But I'm enjoying it and enjoying the process and still enjoying my studies in terms of into the e-marketing field and also how I can progress the business. And as I tend to like to prefer to try and seek information before I make the leap, and that can be a bit of a problem. But at the moment, I realize that my schedule has to be slower anyway, because financially it's at this point, under my current circumstances, it's going to be it's a little difficult to move that faster, but that's okay because I need time to write anyway. So currently, it's kind of the best time to do it is now, and get that first book done as slowly as it's going, but it is moving forward. So I'm grateful for that, and my spirits are pretty good, and that's and that's from being with you guys and you, John, and also enjoying the process, which is really nice as well. But understanding that, I mean, I realized that the blue sky was. It took me a while to realize that that wasn't quite going to work for me as a straightforward avenue, and that the e-marketing was a much better way for me to go, and then just use that as a part of the money making process. So whether I would do things in slightly the same order, I don't know, but I think it has put either way. It has always all put me on a good path that I'm following along and trying to make my way each day. So yeah, thank you, John.
Thank you, Cyril. So glad you're here. And look, we're observing this evolution right before our eyes. So keep showing up, brother. You are great. I don't know if you guys are hearing my daughter playing a flute or a recorder or whatever that is in the next room. If you can hear it, let me know and I'll bring her in here and she can entertain us all. Edward, you have got the floor, sir. Come on out, brother. Edward.
Hello. Good morning, everybody. What's coming up for me is a state of being uncomfortable, because when you listen to the perspectives that you have, John, and of everybody in the group, it makes you realize you got to get on with it. It's time to make a move and make a real move, because life is fleeting and we're just a vapor.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing how, if we don't grab it and take advantage of it, then it's going to go by. And if we don't impact somebody some way, then what's it for? Like you said, being wealthy and being broke, they both take hard work, and, it's not just about the monetary scenario, but it's about the feelings you have. Like, this group makes you get active in bettering yourself. The things that you learn, that you pick up, just very simple things like the wind jar. I'm doing that. I've got that. And I'm looking at information I got from Shannon yesterday, and all the information I've gotten from you and from the different sessions. There's all kind of masterminds and subscriptions and all that sort of things that you can be a part of, but none of them come close to what we're doing here, because what this is doing is it's a catharsis for everyone of their own demons, their own issues, their own procrastinations and idiosyncrasies that we all, go through, and also that self-doubt that you have. Especially when you have people who are in your life that you really and truly value and love, and they don't see what you see. They don't understand what you understand. And this group, for me, it just evaluates, my perspective, and also validates my perspective, because it's just a very telling thing when you can basically bear yourself, and you can basically see others bear themselves. It's just a great thing, and I've been looking for you guys for a while, and I'm glad I found you. So thanks a lot for everything.
And we're so glad you're here, man. You've been hanging around with us for a couple of weeks now, so yeah.
I'm going to be here too. If the good Lord allows me to.
Oh yeah. Well, we're so glad of that. Hey, Trinity, why don't you come on in here with whatever that instrument was that I was just hearing? A recorder. All right, ladies and gentlemen, fun Friday for your entertainment pleasure. Come on, stand up. Come on. All right, so what do we got here? Anyone who's not met Trinity, here she is, my princess. And Sharon Atherton is on here with us, and she teaches this instrument, apparently. Sharon, is that right? So Sharon's offering you a free lesson. And anyone who wants to get together in the hospitality suite after we're done, here comes Sharon. Hey, Sharon, say a couple words so Trinity can see you.
Hey, Trinity, I'm right here.
Oh, hi.
Yes.
Yeah, you've met
I'm the
Sharon
band
before.
director.
Yeah.
We've met before.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're gonna give us a little performance real quick?
I guess.
Come on, just a couple of notes, something here. Here we go. Here it comes. Get ready.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I need to clean it.
great news. Go clean it, and then Sharon's going to meet with you in the hospitality suite. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Trinity, any burning desires before we wrap up? And I think we might have a crowd in the hospitality suite today, Sharon. I don't know how many recorders we got to go around, but yeah. Okay, good. Anybody else before we wrap up for today? Thank you again, Edward. So glad you're here. All right, so guess what? We've got some stuff going on here today. So right after this, hospitality suite is open. It's going to be music lessons. Bring your kids, bring their recorders. We're going to have integrative health today. And if memory serves, we're going to be talking more about magnesium today with Therese Macelis. So magnesium is a good thing. Helps you. Is that right, Therese? We're doing magnesium today. Yep, more things magnesium. That is our topic for today. And then we are going to get together for the final time this week at 6 p.m. Eastern for Be Heard, where you can just come and talk about whatever you want. And I will listen. And with that, I think here's Therese. Therese, you got a comment?
Hi. Hello, everyone. How are you today? Thanks, John. Wonderful topic as always. One of the things that really stood out for me was Nicola's. Thank you for sharing that, Nicola. And I think, obviously there's so many of us that have come a long way. And, that journey of trying to figure out how to turn your struggles from the past into helping others in the future and, also elevating yourself. So that's certainly been at the heart of my life for a long time. And Friday's nutrition talks it's really profound. And sometimes when I think back to, 20 years ago, when I was just a little puddle on the floor, it's just bizarre that I'm sharing what I know with people, and it's pretty empowering. So thank you. I'm still trying to figure out how to put a program together, but I'm working on it. So one step at a time, and I hope to see everybody today for more information on magnesium. It's a pretty profound subject and a pretty important one. And about 75 to 80% of the population is shy on it. So join me and I'll share what I know. Thanks, John, thank you for our group and our forum today. Thanks.
Oh, my pleasure. And if we can assist you in creating a course, a product, that's what we do. So yeah, we're happy to help. Just get in touch with me or Shannon, and we'll get that show on the road. All right, so let's wrap up with that. Last call. Are we done? We are done. All right. Thank you, everyone. Great week. We got a couple more events on the calendar for tonight, so be there. And then I'm going to go fire up the hospitality suite. Maybe we'll see you guys over there. Bye for now.